Good morning, Year 6, and happy Monday! I am back. And I hope you enjoy these learning videos. So, because for the majority of the week I'm in school with some children that are still in school, these learning videos look a little bit different because I've got a little bit less time to put them together, but hopefully they'll be just as enjoyable and engaging for you. So please let me know how you're finding them. Drop me an email and let me know if they're okay. So let's have a look what we've got today. Today you've got a little morning warm-up activity. You've got some reading comprehension, some time on TT Rockstars, some maths, some spelling practice, a writing task, and then this half term we're going to start looking at some transition activities that get us starting to talk and think about moving on to high school and secondary school and on from Redbrook, which is a little bit sad but also very exciting. So it'd be nice to start that with you today. If you want any additional bits, there are lots of websites there for you to have a little look at. So this is your warm-up task. Pause the video here and try to find some calculations where you can get as close to 117 as possible. So think you can use your brackets, use your bid maths, you can use indices, so you can use to squares or cube numbers, and see how close to 117 you can make. Try and find 2 or 3 different ways to get as close as you possibly can. So pause the video now and have a go at that. Okie dokie, and moving on to reading. So we are still reading Wolf Brother. We've moved on to chapter 8. If you would like to answer comprehension questions, if you want to practice your comprehension skills, there are 8 reading questions for you here, and the answers to these reading questions can be found on our Padlet page. So these aren't compulsory, but if you have some time, if you set yourself some time for reading, and you read chapter 8 before the end of the time, have a go at answering some of these questions, because they're really important, these skills, these comprehension skills, and being able to recall and find information and summarize information on a page is a really important skill that you'll be using lots of in high school. So if you want to practice these skills, that's absolutely fine. The answers for them are on Padlet. The PDF document, because I wasn't sure if people needed to catch up reading or wanted to read ahead for pleasure, so putting up the chapters every day was a bit tricky. So I've done a PDF document. You'll find it on the Year 6 home learning page. And it's got the whole text on there, so you can read as much or as little as you like of it. But yes, have a read of chapter 8, let me know what you think, and answer the questions if you've got time to do so today. Okie dokie, so time for a times table break. So please log on to your TT Rockstars and take 20 minutes completing some games. Don't spend that 20 minutes shopping for a new outfit for your avatar. Do that afterwards. I'll be looking each night at who has been going online on TT Rockstars and who's making the biggest progress in their game speed. If you're unable to access TT Rockstars, I've got some fluency questions following this, so pause the video for those, and you can do those on paper and then use a calculator to check your answers. If you need your login emailing to you again, just drop me a message on the Year 6 email and I'll send that back to you as quick as I can. So these are today's fluency questions if you cannot access TT Rockstars. So pause the video for these and use a calculator to check your answers. Okie dokie, that brings us on to our maths. So maths is going to look a little bit different moving forwards, but hopefully it's going to show you a really, really fabulous resource that will come in handy now and as you go up to high school and you need to start studying a bit more independently and doing your own learning outside of school as well. So there's a really, really good website called Khan Academy, and I've signed us up for like a class log on for it. But you don't have to log on as a class, you can log on as an individual if you wanted. And it's got fabulous, fabulous courses in maths, English, all kinds of sciences, languages, computing. So if you're wanting to learn to code over the summer holidays, they've got a coding course and everything that is all completely free. So to access our maths lessons for the next few weeks, you do need to join. You don't need an email to join, but just double check with your parents that they're happy for you to join this website. So you go to Khan Academy and then you'll have to enter this code here, which takes us just to our class. So from there, I can set tasks for you to do each day, and I can see your progress and see bits that we're stuck with. And but it also gives you the flexibility to add different classes if you want to do extra bits now as well. So I'm going to talk you through that whole process of signing up. So when you go to that website, it will take you to a screen that looks like this. You simply need to click on Learners, and it will then bring up this screen. So you're joining Khan Academy as a learner, and don't worry about this bit. You just need to click this button here, enter a class code. So from there, you need to add our class code, which is there, and then you need to click on the button add. At this point, you need to check it says this. So our screen should say then Miss Tucker's Year 6 class. If it doesn't say that, you've entered the wrong code. So you need to remove that code and try again. If it does say Miss Tucker's class, then you can go ahead and click on create a new account. So when you're on create a new account, you can continue with Google, but it's actually so much easier to just sign up by choosing a username. This way you don't have to enter an email, so you don't get loads of spam coming through your email inbox, and it's nice and quick and easy. So if you're signing up with a username, you just need to choose a username. It does say on here, don't use your real name. So if your name is, I don't know, Sebastian Smith, don't use Sebastian Smith because that's your full name and you're putting it out on the internet. Think again, like we said, you know, when we talk about internet safety, don't spread your full name everywhere. But I would like you to try and use either one of your nicknames or something so I know it's you, so I know who's who. If you've used a completely obscure name, that's absolutely fine. Might just be helpful though to drop me an email to year6@redbrickhayes.staffs.sch.uk and let me know what your username is so I know who's who when I'm looking at them. Because otherwise, if your name is, I don't know, SpongeBob SquarePants as your username, love it, brilliant. But if somebody's really struggling with something, I can't offer them extra help then because I don't know who I need to email or get in contact with. So just let me know if it's a really obscure name, just let me know your username. Then you need to create yourself a password, a nice safe password that's just yours, and don't give it to anybody else. Maybe your parents, in case you're like me and you lose it, forget it, but don't send it amongst the rest of the class or to anybody outside of our class. So from there, it brings you into this screen and you need to click on, if it doesn't bring this little pop-up box up straight immediately, you do need to click on courses. And when you're on courses, you need to select, just put a line through it, grade 6 or year 6, okay? And then click continue. And from there, you need to select the arithmetic box. There are other ones as well if you want to add on to those, but we'll just be going through the arithmetic, and if you would like to, select the grammar box. Now, if you want to go on and use this scroll bar to see what else is available, you can do. These are all courses that are completely free. So when you've selected your courses, you then click continue with 2 courses, or however many you've got. And that then will bring you up to this. So for the first day, I can't set any work to anybody because I haven't got any students. So on your first day of logging in, I can't set you a task. So your first task on the first day is to choose one. So maybe start with something nice and simple like addition and subtraction. And that takes you through a course. So set yourself a time limit. Get your phone or your tablet or, I don't know, an egg timer of 45 minutes or an hour, or do half an hour now and then half an hour later. Set yourself a time limit and work through these lessons. They give you videos and explanations, then a few practice questions, and then a little mini test to test your skills at the end. So take your time, go through. They're really, really helpful. And like I said, they're a great tool to have in your belt when you're going up to high school and you need a bit of extra time or want to give yourself a bit of extra learning. It's a really, really good website. So today's learning is to choose one lesson and have a go at one, or to have a go at 45 minutes worth of a lesson. And then from then on, I can then set you tasks on a daily basis. that you will find in your account under this teachers bit. So I hope that was informative and I hope that makes sense. Let me know how you get on. Okay, for today's writing task, I need you to think about your favourite book ever, your favourite ever story, and think specifically about the ending of it. And then I want you to think, how else could it have ended? If the good guy won in the story, what would have happened if the bad guy won? What would have happened if one event was taken out of the story? How would that change the ending of the story? Think about the climax, the most exciting and crucial bit, and then you're going to write a new story starting from that climax. So if I was to think of the story of, what's a story that we will all know? For example, Shrek. I'm sure Shrek is a book somewhere. It could be a film. You can do it on a film as well if you'd like. The most exciting bit I would say is at the wedding where Fiona changes into an ogre, and that's the climax, and they have to run and escape or whatever have you. So from that climax, I'm then going to have that. So Fiona is currently with Lord Farquaad. She changes into an ogre. She escapes with the help of her friends, but she doesn't fall in love with Shrek. Instead, she rides the dragon off and goes back to her castle, where she then builds up defences and becomes like an evil supervillain and rains terror on the villages with her dragon as a punishment for Lord Farquaad trying to marry her without, well, just kidnapping her basically and taking her off to a strange land to be married. So she's quite angry about that, and rightfully so. So that would be my new story. And then I would write that down as today's writing task. So I need to think about description. How can I describe all of these exciting, powerful moments? I need to think about adjectives, verbs, adverbs, similes, metaphors. I need to think about character. How can I show that Fiona is really angry and really bitter by the end of my story? She becomes quite evil. So I need to think about her actions and her speech. How can I portray that? And how can I create that atmosphere and tension? I need to think about short, sharp sentences. I need to think about semicolons, removing those extra contractions out of the way. Then you can either write it down in your books or you can type it up onto the computer. If you type it onto the computer and you're really proud of your writing today, you can upload it to Padlet as a document. So if you go to Padlet, start to write a new post, and there's a little paperclip symbol. You can click that and upload it so everyone can read it and enjoy. Or if you want to do something different with your story, and you've got a bit of time, you can create a stop motion or an animation with your story. So if you've got a tablet or an iPhone or a computer with a camera, you can download for free, check with your parents first, obviously, things like I Can Animate Light or Animate It Light. They're both apps that you can then create animations with and turn your story into an animation. A bit like when we made an animation of the rotation of the planets. We did a stop motion animation of those, didn't we? We made the planets and made an animation. You can do that with a story, and you can add sound and writing, and that'd be quite cool actually. And if you do one of them, definitely please upload it to Padlet. We'd all love to see that. It'd be really impressive. So happy writing task. Okay, short activity now. 15 minutes to practice these 3 spellings: navigation, thoughtful, and offered. Practice them in any way that you like. There's loads of ways that we do it. We do colourful writing, we do pyramid writing, we do backwards writing, robot writing, whatever way you like. And then ask someone around your home to read them out to you and test your memory of those spellings. 15 minutes on that. Off you go. Right, and that then brings us on to today's transition activity. So when you go to high school, it's going to be set out a little bit different to how Redbrook's been set out. You'll have different subjects, maybe subjects that you've never heard of before, and you'll be learning different things. So what I would like you to do is sit down with an adult if they're around. If not, maybe pause this activity and wait for them to have a free moment. And I want you to think about all the different subjects that you'll be learning and what that actually means. So if I said, you're going to be learning the subject geography, What does geography mean? What does that actually involve learning about? So because we do elements of geography in primary school, but we do it as part of our connected curriculum. So we just refer to it as connected curriculum, not necessarily geography. So with your adult or with somebody a little bit older, like an older sibling who's maybe been to school, maybe they can show you their timetable so you can have a look at all the different activities they do. Write a list of the subjects down and find a description of them. What does that involve learning about? And then think about what are you really excited to learn, and write them in order of the ones you're most excited for at the top and the ones you're more meh about, not as excited about. And maybe if that older sibling or your parents there, maybe talk to them about the ones that you're a bit meh about. Why are you feeling a bit worried about them? And then maybe they've got some good suggestions, or they say, actually, it's not as bad as you think. You know, I really enjoyed PE, or I really enjoyed maths, or I really enjoyed geography, just because we were just talking about it. And, you know, they might be able to have some good experiences that can tell you. It might not be as worrying as it sounds. So have a think about what are you going to be learning, because when you go to high school, they've got such fabulous resources. You're going to have a whale of a time. It's going to be great. You're going to learn so many new and exciting things. So take time now to learn the terminology of those subjects and what they actually involve learning about. I hope you enjoy that, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye, Year 6.